Hey, so welcome to the first part of this Burning Man tutorial. To begin with, we're going to talk about what is Burning Man and the 10 principles of Burning Man. So, Burning Man was a festival that was formed by this guy. His name is Larry Harvey, and originally they went to a beach and they burned an effigy of a man. Since then, it's become a big deal, and now they have over 50,000 participants every year who come to Black Rock City in the Nevada desert to celebrate art and life and expression in general. As such, if you're thinking about going to Burning Man, I highly suggest you do. Sorry, it's my bird squawking in the background. It's like part of my videos. Anyway, we'll talk about the 10 principles. So yes, Larry Harvey, I believe it was in 2004, wrote 10 principles for their newly found regionals network. This is about how people should act at Burning Man. They're kind of like guidelines or rules, and I have the website up here, and we'll talk about each one. We'll go through them. I'll give you what the website says, and then I'll expand a little bit on it so you understand a little bit. The first one is radical inclusion. It says here, pull it up, anyone may be part of Burning Man. We welcome and respect the stranger. No prerequisites exist for participation in our community. So radical inclusion, what that basically means is anyone could go to Burning Man. We don't care about your race, your gender, your sexual preference, anything does not matter. You know, anyone can come to Burning Man and be a part of it, and in fact it's highly encouraged. We want it to be a large society full of different people from different walks of life, and that's what makes it so interesting and wonderful. Next is gifting. Burning Man is devoted to acts of gifting. The value of gifting is unconditional. Gifting does not contemplate a return or exchange or for something of equal value. And what that basically means is Burning Man is huge on that gifting. So if you go to Burning Man, people will gift you. You can be out in the playa, which is like out in the desert, and a stranger will come up to you and be like, hey, you know, I made you this necklace, and I'm going to give it to you. That's it, you know, you get a gift. Hey, you know, I'm giving you this bottle of playa sand to take home with you, or I'm giving you this photograph that I took of you, whatever the gift. Here's a piece of fruit, whatever the gift happens to be. Gifting does not mean you have to give back. If someone gives you a necklace, you don't have to be like, oh, that's great, here's my necklace for your necklace. The gifting is a self-expression of Burning Man values. It's good to gift, it's not necessary, and if someone gifts you, it's not necessary to give them back. It's nice to bring something to gift, but you want that gift to be meaningful. You don't want to bring moop. And I'll talk about moop here. Moop means matter out of place. And that can be anything from a bottle cap, you know, candy wrapper, juice box, whatever you happen to leave, rotting fruit core, whatever happens, like anything. A piece of hair, a feather from your feather boa can be moop. And Burning Man is a leave no trace event. And that means that anything you bring in, you have to take out. Not the Black Rock Rangers, people look after it. It's you. You take out your shit. You bring something into Burning Man, you take it out. So everyone cleans up after him. And that's how we get to party in the Black Rock City, Nevada every year. Because we keep it really clean. And that is one of the main things about Burning Man I cannot stress. Is you want to keep it really nice and clean. So next, we're on now the third principle of the 10 principles of Burning Man. Decommodification. I don't know if I said that right. In order to preserve the spirit of gifting, our community seeks to create social environments that are unmediated by commercial sponsorships, transactions, or advertising. We stand ready to protect our culture from such exploitation. We resist the substitution of consumption and participatory experience. And what I believe this is saying is that, yeah, there's going to be no Coca-Cola on the playa. They don't want sponsorship. They're not vendors. The only things you can buy at Burning Man, at Center Camp, you can go, they sell ice, and they sell coffee, maybe like a hot chocolate and lemonade. That's about all they're going to offer you. You can't buy anything else anywhere. There's no real money transactions on the playa. This is talking about a different level of humanity. It's a different experience. It's about survival. You're out in the desert. We'll talk about radical self-reliance next, but yeah, you don't bring anything that you can't supply yourself. So, yes. Next, as we were just saying before, radical self-reliance. Burning Man encourages the individual to discover, exercise, and rely on his and her inner resources. This is an important one. Radical self-reliance. You've got to be able to look after yourself. You're in the desert. It's really fucking hot, and at night it's really fucking cold. Everyone's running. It's the truth. Everyone's running around on drugs, and it's a dangerous environment. People get injured every year, and so all they're asking you is that you need to be self-reliant. If you're coming in, you need to bring enough water for yourself to survive and live on. You need to provide for yourself above and beyond anyone. And that's not to say people aren't going to provide. Everyone wants to help out at Burning Man, but first and foremost, you have to be looking out for yourself and make sure that you are self-reliant. And that helps everyone else out, and everyone has a really good time. We don't need any more sparkle ponies. And I'll explain about sparkle ponies in another video. Okay, next, radical self-expression. Radical self-expression arises from the unique gifts of the individual. No one other than the individual or collaborating group can determine its content. It is offered as a gift to others. In the spirit, the giver should respect the rights and liberties of the recipient. So yes, I believe, I could be wrong on this one because I'm not entirely sure, but I believe what this is trying to say is that everyone can self-express in their own way, whether they're coming to Burning Man and they're bringing art, or if they're making an art car, or they're participating in a camp, or helping out, or whatever it is they're doing. And that is entirely based on the individual and their artistic qualities, whatever that may be. Okay, next, communal effort. Our community values creative cooperation and collaboration. We strive to produce and promote and protect social networks, public spaces, works of art, and methods of communication that support such interaction. Burning Man is all about collaboration and cooperation, and I think they do very well in promoting, self-expression and works of art, methods of individual communication, and all they're saying is that they're completely supportive of these interactions, and they even offer, they're not so much scholarships, but they'll sponsor a piece of art. So if you ever want to do something you think is a really good idea, you can write to them and say, hey, I have this idea, if you want to help, pay for it, and sometimes they will. It's a really good idea, so don't be afraid to write to them with whatever art you kind of want to bring to the playa, because there's everything there. Next, civic responsibility. We value civil society. Community members who organize events should assume responsibility for public welfare and endeavor to communicate civic responsibility to participants. They must also assume responsibility for conducting events in accordance with local, state, and federal laws. Yeah, I'm not going to discuss this one too much. I think this is vaguely talking about drugs and sort of that you know your civic responsibility as a human being. You're not going to do anything crazy or illegal. So yes, that's rather self-explanatory. So we'll talk about next one. This one's huge. Leave no trace. This is what I was talking about earlier from Moop. Our community respects the environment. We are committed to leaving no physical trace of our activities wherever we gather. We clean up after ourselves and endeavor, whenever possible, to leave such places in a better state than when we found them. So I know I briefly covered that earlier. Moop, mash out of place, leave nothing. Anything you bring, take out with you. In fact, make sure it's more clean than when you actually left. Your camp will help you with this, and when you're done, they have like a little map with red spots of who cleaned up and how well. I camp with Sin City on Esplanade, and we clean up pretty well after ourselves, so let's keep that in mind. Don't go to Burning Man if you can't clean up. Now I'm talking about anything. If you can't even piss on the playa, if anything you do, put it in a bag, seal it, take it home with you. I'm not even joking. Okay, next. Participation. Our community is committed to a radical participatory ethic. We believe that transformative change, whether in the individual or society, can occur only through the medium of deeply personal participation. We achieve being through doing. Everyone is invited to work. Everyone is invited to play. We make the world real through actions that open the heart. This is always my favorite Burning Man principle, And this is number 9 out of the 10 principles of Burning Man. It basically means, there are no observers in Burning Man, only participants. If you're going to Burning Man, you're not going to stand around and be like, hey, it's a great piece of art. Get out there. Do something. Be the art. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy. Just do something that makes you part of the Burning Man experience. Whether you're out dancing in the desert by yourself like a crazy person, you're still participating. It's a huge thing. You have to go out there, you have to want to do something crazy and do it, and it's not hard. You get out there and there's so many great people. The participation just kind of happens. You participate because you can at Burning Man, because everyone invites you to and it's part of the thing. So when you get out there, remember not just to watch but to do. Okay, and my last principle, there's a lot of principles, aren't there? Okay, the last one is immediacy. Immediate experience is, in many ways, the most important touchstone of value in our culture. We seek to overcome barriers that stand between us and a recognition of our inner selves, the reality of those around us, participation in society, and contact with the natural world exceeding human powers. Sounds kind of funky, doesn't it? No idea can substitute for this experience. Yes. That one I believe also is kind of self-explanatory. You could look it up on the website. I would encourage anyone watching this tutorial to read the Burning Man Survival Guide. You cannot go to Burning Man without reading that guide. It's vital. All of these 10 principles, incredibly important. You should reread all of them before you go if you are thinking about going, and it's well worth it if you do. And it will help you have a better experience, and those around you have a better experience too. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and feel free to subscribe, the little button up there. If you have any comments, put them below, and discuss whatever you want to discuss about Burning Man. I think it's a great topic. Till the next one.